In the heart of whispering woods, nestled among mossy roots, lived a tiny dormouse named Luma. Luma was small, even for a dormouse, with fur the color of toasted almonds and eyes like shiny black beads. But her heart held a dream as big as the sky itself. She dreamed of climbing the dreaming oak, the oldest and tallest tree in the forest. Legend said that if you reached the very top, where the branches touched the heavens, you could hear the stars whisper your deepest wish. There was just one problem. Luma was terrified of heights. The mere thought of looking down from a branch made her paws tremble and her whiskers twitch with anxiety. Every day, she would gaze up at the colossal trunk of the dreaming oak, its leaves a shimmering canopy against the blue canvas of the sky, and her heart would ache with a mix of longing and fear. She'd watch squirrels chase each other effortlessly up and down its bark, their movements a dizzying dance she couldn't imagine performing. One sunny morning, Luma sat at the base of the oak, tracing patterns in the dirt with a twig. A shadow fell over her, and she looked up to see a brilliant blue jay named Jasper, perched on a low branch. Jasper was known for his boisterous confidence and sharp eyes. Staring at the sky again. "Little one," he chirped, tilting his head. "You'll get a crick in your neck doing that all day." Luma sighed, her small chest rising and falling. "I wish I could climb it, Jasper. I want to hear the stars whisper." Jasper hopped down to a lower branch, closer to her. "And what's stopping you? Your legs work just fine. I've seen you scurry." Luma's ears drooped. "It's not my legs," she whispered. "It's the looking down. The world gets so big, and I feel so small. What if I fall?" Jasper puffed out his chest. "Ah, the what ifs. They're the heaviest branches to carry. But you know, the view from the top is worth a little wobble on the way up. You don't have to go all at once. Just one branch at a time. I'll even keep an eye on you from above." His offer was kind, but Luma's fear was a stubborn root, dug deep into her heart. She thanked him, but shook her head, her courage failing her. Later that afternoon, as Luma nibbled on a stray berry, she nearly bumped into Sheldon, the ancient tortoise who had seen more seasons than any other creature in the woods. Sheldon moved slowly, but his wisdom was as deep as the forest floor. He saw the troubled look in Luma's eyes. "A heavy heart for such a light creature," Sheldon said, his voice a low, rumbling sound. "Is it the great oak that troubles you?" Luma was surprised he knew. "How did you?" Sheldon gave a slow, knowing blink. "I have watched you watch that tree for many moons. The desire to climb is written all over your face, but so is the fear." Luma confessed her dream and her paralyzing fear of heights. Sheldon listened patiently, his ancient eyes never leaving her face. When she finished, he didn't offer quick advice or easy encouragement. Instead, he said, "Luma, a journey of 1,000 steps, or in your case, 1,000 branches, begins with a single move. Fear is not a wall, it is a fog. It seems solid until you take a step into it. Then, you see it as mostly air. You do not have to conquer the entire tree today. Can you conquer the first route?" He gestured with his head to a thick, gnarled root of the dreaming oak, no higher than a mushroom. It was barely a climb at all. Luma looked at the root, then back at Sheldon's calm, patient face. One root? She could do that. Taking a deep breath, she scurried over and placed her tiny paws on the rough bark. She pulled herself up. It was easy. She stood on top of the root, her heart thumping, but she hadn't fallen. Sheldon nodded slowly. "Good. Now, what about that low-hanging branch? The one that looks like a friendly arm reaching down." Luma looked up. It was a bit higher, but not by much. Remembering Jasper's promise, she scanned the sky and saw a flash of blue. He was circling high above, watching. Feeling a tiny spark of courage, Luma gathered herself and leaped, her claws finding a secure hold on the branch. She scrambled on top of it, her breath catching in her throat. She was higher than she'd ever been in a tree before. She didn't dare look down. Instead, she focused on the bark in front of her, on the feel of the wood beneath her paws. One branch at a time, she whispered to herself, repeating Jasper's words. "Fear is a fog," she murmured, echoing Sheldon's wisdom. Her fear was still there, a cold knot in her stomach, but her determination was now a tiny, warm flame, and she was determined to protect it. She climbed. Branch by branch, Luma ascended the dreaming oak. She didn't look down. When a gust of wind made the branch sway, she held on tight, closed her eyes, and remembered Sheldon's voice. When she felt her paws begin to shake, she looked for a flash of blue in the sky and heard Jasper's distant, encouraging The world of the forest floor shrank below, but she refused to let it shrink her courage. Hours passed. Her muscles ached, and her paws were sore. But with every new height she reached, the flame of her determination grew brighter. She was no longer just the Dormouse who was afraid of heights. She was Luma, the climber. Finally, she pulled herself onto a thick, flat branch high above the rest of the forest. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The air was thin and crisp, and there they were. The first stars of the evening began to twinkle, appearing like scattered diamonds on dark velvet. They seemed so close. She felt she could almost reach out and touch them. She held her breath, closed her eyes, and listened. She waited for the stars to whisper her deepest wish. But the only sound was a gentle rustling of the leaves and the quiet thumping of her own proud heart. She opened her eyes, a little confused. Where was the whisper? Where was the magic? And then, as she looked out at the vast, beautiful world spread beneath her, she understood. The stars didn't need to tell her what her wish was. The climb itself had shown her. Her deepest wish wasn't for some magical prize or a secret revealed. Her deepest, most heartfelt wish was simply to be brave enough to try. It was to be the kind of Dormouse who could face her fear and climb the tree anyway. A joyful peace washed over her. She had done it. She had reached the top. Not to get something, but to become someone. As she began her careful descent, the forest below looked different. It didn't look scary or vast. It looked like home, and she, Luma, was no longer the tiny Dormouse who was afraid of heights. She was Luma, the Dormouse who had touched the stars, not with her paws, but with her courage. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed Luma's story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.